have to clear my throat because there's a lot of material that we're going to be covering today. So bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Right? Hello, family. Welcome to Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Barbie. Before we get into today's episode, if you are new to this podcast or if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so now. And also be sure to tap the notification bell for alerts when we upload a new episode. Please let us know in the comment section below this audio podcast, where are you listening to us from? Also, let us know what's happening in your country, in your state, and in your city. And also make arrangements with me to come on this platform so we can talk about it in real time. We are a global community and we want to keep our listeners informed about what's going on with Black people and African people throughout the diaspora. I would like for us to grow this platform to 500,000 strong, and also for us to get our film project fully funded and made so that way we can use the proceeds from the film to purchase property in Chicago, Illinois, within the low income Black community and become an economic base within the Black community. Eventually, in God's timing, we will be hosting African tours, Caribbean tours, and South American tours. So that way we can move beyond cyberspace and make our presence known in cities and countries around the globe. On this platform, we are more than just talk. We will put boots on the ground and do what we can to help improve the social conditions of our people that want more out of life and who wants to become GRCAM members. To learn more about business opportunities with our media component, please purchase my ebook and read my story for yourself. If you agree with my vision and plan to help improve Black America, specifically Black Chicago, then you will automatically become a GRCAM member. I'm looking forward to connecting with many of you as possible. And again, I thank those of you who have supported this important piece of work that we're trying to do. Disclaimer. All right, something popped up on my screen, so I got to get that out the way. This content is for educational and informational purposes only. It is based on public available reports and verified media sources. We fully comply with YouTube's community guidelines. We do not promote violence, hate, or misinformation in any form. This podcast is available in two forms, as an audio as well as a written text in order for us to reach our audience. Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast is our Black media component. I would like to encourage my listeners to subscribe to my Medium page, where that way you can follow along during our presentations. I provide my Medium transcript in the comment section below this audio podcast. Also, if you're living on the African continent, I recommend that you subscribe to my Pod Chaser because that's not going to eat up much of your bundles. It's just audio. Again, too, if you would just, if you want to, you could just read, my transcript word for word. That way, you're not, you know, eating up your bundles. But either way it goes, I'm just trying to be mindful for those of you that have to depend on bundles in order to use the internet. If you are a Black artist, African artist, such as an author, comedian, poet, musician, or entrepreneur, then make arrangements with me to come on this platform so that way you can promote your books, your business, your music, your jokes. And if you have a small ministry, you're more than welcome to share a 30-minute sermon with my listeners from the global community. After the show, I offer incentives to my guest speakers by teaching them how to create their own podcast, create their own YouTube channel, and get it monetized, as well as assist them with creating a free Wix website. Um, Please mark your calendars. I'm available Tuesday, June 9th through Sunday, June 14th, Monday, June 15th through Sunday, June 21st, Monday, June 22nd through Thursday, June 25th, Sunday, June 28th through Tuesday, June 30th, from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. American Central Time. On this platform, we keep you informed and empowered from wherever you are, from the diaspora to Africa. Don't just listen to our audio or video podcast. Join the movement, ladies and gentlemen, because after all, um, this business is for black parents, especially single black parents, single black mothers, single black fathers, as well as two parent black families. That's what this is all about, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I'm not getting pushback from white America. I'm getting pushback from black America, unfortunately, because of this slave mentality within our culture. But this is bigger than myself. That's why I keep on beating this drum loud and clear. And that's why I created this platform to broadcast my vision and plan beyond Chicago, across the United States of America, as well as throughout, um, I, I must say, to the global African family, on those that's on the continent, those that's in Europe, Canada, the Caribbeans, all over. Trying to turn this thing into a reality. But it's just me and Sister Renee. It's holding this stuff down. It's not fair to us. You know, I'm doing the best I can. I want to do more than just news and social commentary. But again, this is where I'm at. I'm unable to hire anyone at this time because my book is barely selling and items from my virtual store is barely selling. And that's real talk. The dope man has more support from the black community than me. That's not cool at all. Ladies and gentlemen, I created this platform, like I say, in order to broadcast my vision and plan across the United States of America, to recruit brave and smart, like minded Black Americans beyond Chicago who identify as DAS FM, descendants of American slaves slash freedmen, because this is who this business is for. I'm also reaching out to brave and smart, like minded African immigrants within the United States of America from 10 African nations: South Africa, Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Uganda, Angola, Liberia, Ivory Coast, Ghana, and Nigeria. I'm encouraging both groups to please read my story first, my ebook. Quote, The Solution for Black America: Reclaiming, Rebuilding, and Restoring the Urban Ghettos in America, second edition. It's available on Amazon for $9.99. Read that book, please. And if you agree with my vision and plan, you automatically become a GERCAM member. And with that, I would like for you to also get behind our film project so we could turn my book into a film, a docudrama, because I want the whole black world to know my story. And I want to make sure none of my members, CAM members, would never have to endure such foolishness that I had to endure for the past 34 years. November 10th, 2026 will mark 35 years, ladies and gentlemen. This is totally unacceptable. Unacceptable, Black America. But again, this is why I'm reaching out to the global African family. I have something positive to offer. But again, I want brave and smart and competent Black Americans and competent African immigrants that's going to be on my management team, that's going to help me build and run this business. All I have at this point in time is my revised book, my virtual store, and hopefully this film project. That's it. No scams. I wrote the book in order to generate capital. That's why I'm asking you all to work with me. Help me get that book on that bestsellers list so I can be in a better position financially to hire Black people, African people, and others. I'm not running for public office. We're going to build this thing from the mud. That means we're going to, in layman terms, build it from the ground up. I've been paying out of pocket for 16 years. And you know what? I feel like I'm just wasting money. That's not cool at all. That's why I want to get it popping here in Chicago first, turn it over to my management team, and expand it to the African continent. Those 10 African nations, we're going to set up local chapters in each African nation that receives me. You know what I'm saying? Right now, South Africa, I am still interested in doing business with South Africa, but right now, at this point in time, I have to wait and see. It's a wait and see approach with them, because they are going through the most right now, and that's not cool. I'm asking Africans to please just pray for our brothers and sisters in South Africa. I'm asking African migrants that's in South Africa to please leave before June 30th because I don't want you to be harmed. They're going, it's just sad. It really is. But they're using you as an scapegoat. They won't go after the white supremacist financial elites that's occupying 80% of their land, that's still holding economic power, that put South Africa in, I would say, economic apartheid. They're the ones that's causing all these problems. But hey, it is what it is. Please just leave, get out. I don't want you to be harmed. So I want my advisory board or resource team to have an associate's degree or above. I want Black attorneys, African attorneys, investors, financial planners, marketers, Black entrepreneurs, African entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs, and philanthropists. Those are the type of people that I would like to be on my advisory board or resource team to help me run this business once we get it up and running. And I do not want to have to constantly be there in the presence. Like I said, I want to have my management team and all that stuff in place. I want to make sure that Sister Renee is going to be well taken care of financially because she had my back for the past 14 years, working with me behind the scenes. So we're going to dedicate a chapter for her in West Memphis, Arkansas. You know, um, yes, I would like for her to be over there with me in Africa, but I respect, I respect Sister Renee's, what what she talked to me about. So it is what it is. When I come to South Africa, sorry, when I come to Africa, the African continent, I don't. I'm looking at now, Kenya. I'm not going to West Africa right away. We're gonna build. I'm gonna say in East Africa first. Get our foot over there, make our footprint over there, and then eventually come over to the West Africa. Again, I do not operate like the next black man. I have my own style and way of doing things. You don't have to like me, but you will respect me. And again, I want to make sure we separate ourselves from con artists, hardened criminals, degenerates, pedophiles, urban terrorists, people that don't mean our racial group any good. I want to separate ourselves from them. I'm not saying that I'm better. That's what a lot of my critics want to say to me. Oh, Emmanuel, you need to lower your standards. You need this, you need that. Look, I'm not going to put on no front for nobody. If you don't like me, it's cool. Keep it moving. But I ain't going to put on no front. This is real business. Our children's or our black youth and our African youth, their lives is at stake here. These white supremacist financial elites is not playing. Everything that we're going to discuss today is should be an eye opener to wake black people up, to wake African people up. That's why I share these stories, current events that apply to what's going on. And I'm still trying my best to move this thing to the next level. But I need my listeners to be on board. And I want to say up front, anybody that's listening to this, if you're not interested in solving black issues or solving African issues, please delete me off your friends list and go on about your business. I'm just being real. Don't come around me once I start making money because ain't nothing changing. Those that's standing by my side, that's coming on my, I would say on my panel, that's leaving positive messages, in the comment sections, that's sharing my information, that's doing what they can within their power. Those are the people that when I come to Africa, I want to give them an opportunity to be in our African film. Right now, we got to get it popping here in America. We got to get this film project fully funded and made because unfortunately, a lot of our people don't want to read about a solution. Yes, they want to eat up all that negative stuff, the stereotypes. It's unfortunately, that's just how it is. Once we get our film project fully funded and made, and the proceeds from the film starts pouring in, then I would be in a better position financially to purchase property in Chicago, Illinois, buy office equipment, hire qualified black middle class professionals, and qualified African immigrants. Global African family, if you're serious about me bringing my Christian business to the African continent, then please help get my ebook on that bestsellers list. So that way the black world will take us serious. Because I ain't playing no games over here. Doesn't matter how bad I would like to get this Christian business up and running. Without financial support from the black grassroots and the global African family, then I am unable to do my God-given assignment, which is to build the best Black Christian business within the United States of America with the help of GRCAM members. And that would be the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago. We want to build that here for credibility before I cut and run to Africa. I'm encouraging everyone in my Christian groups on Facebook, Light of the World Inspirational Group, and Christian Spoken Word Network. Please stand up. I need your help. Don't just be in my groups just to be seen. Leave mess if you're not able to participate in our upcoming monthly virtual interactive conference, which will be on Saturday, June 27th. Then please listen to the replay. Uh, Leave a comment about the topic, and most of all, share with all your friends on Facebook and any other social media sites that you are on. That's what help speed up the process and get this ball rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, those in my secular groups, such as GRCAI of Africa, GRCAI of Chicago, even the title of this podcast, Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast group on Facebook. The same thing. Please get involved. Share my information. Leave messages in the comment section. And most of all, share this information with all your friends. Now, those, again, that's in my GRCAI of Africa group, I'm mindful that you're living from hand to mouth because of the corruption that's going on with a lot of the African leaders and stuff over there. So don't worry about buying the book then. But please share my information. Put me on blast. Yeah, you can pray, but we have to do more than just prayer. Because I want to create jobs for all of my members that's going to be GRCAM members. And if you're not a GRCAM member, hey, I'm not fooling with you. It's just that simple. I'm not going to you. If you ain't going to support me, I will not support you. That's just how it is. That's what makes GRCAM different than all these other organizations. I'm not trying to buddy up with everybody and all that stuff and don't know who they are. I want everybody to know who I am. That's why I wrote my story. And I want to know who you are. If you're going to be a dedicated member. And I want to make sure that you and your family, your immediate family members, reach your personal life goals through this business. That's what makes us different than all these other Black organizations. We want to win the hearts and mind of the low-income Black community, for the residents. Make our presence known there. Have that physical building. I ain't trying to cower behind no computer. I'm on the computer to recruit. You understand what I'm saying? So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I encourage Black content creators and African content creators who have a large following. Please allow me to come on your platform so that way I can speak to your audience about my revised book and my film project. This business is for Black millennials and Generation Z between the ages of 18 to, I'm going to say, 35. I'm getting up in age. I mean, I say I've been pushing this thing for the past 34 years. In November, it'd be 35 years. It's just, unfortunate. I want to bring it over to the African continent, doing the best that I can to get this thing to move to the next level. This is why I created this platform. And that's why I want to interact with people that's on my friends list, giving you an opportunity to promote your stuff. If you have a legitimate business, come on here and promote it. I don't want the brand and the vision to die in America. I'm pushing this vision to the Black world. This is my contribution to Africa's rising. Okay? That's all I'm trying to do. This year, we are determined to get this film project fully funded and made so that way we can move our story to the big screen in order to reach the Black world and the Black masses and let the whole world know who we are and what we're trying to do for Black Americans, which is what I am, who identify as DAS FM, descendants of American slaves / freedmen, who are trapped in American ghettos, specifically Black Chicagoans. Upcoming events. Please mark your calendar for please mark your calendar for Saturday, June 27th. We're hosting our monthly virtual interactive conference. I would like to encourage 5 people from my Facebook page or from my Facebook social groups to come on the panel to discuss our monthly theme, which will be how South Africa became a third world country. You would need to watch the documentary first so that way you can discuss the topic when you come on the show. If interested, please send me a message to my Facebook inbox along with your email address, and we'll take it from there. I will send you specific instructions about being on the panel. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are unable to participate on our monthly virtual interactive conference on YouTube Live, no problem. Just listen to the replay, leave a public comment about the topic in the comment section below the audio podcast, and most of all, please share the link with all of your friends on Facebook and any other social media sites you are on. This will help get the ball rolling. Okay, and let's say, for example, if you do not know how to use StreamYard or Zoom, then make arrangements with me. I already gave you the dates when I'm available. And I would teach you how to use both of them. So that way you can come on the panel to promote your book, your business, your music, your jokes, or share a 30-minute sermon. If you have a small ministry with my listeners from the global community. So where would this take place? YouTube Live, when? Saturday, June 27th, time 2 p.m. American Central Time, 3 p.m. Canadian Time, 8 p.m. West African Time, 9 p.m. South African Time, 10 p.m. East African Time, and 8 p.m. UK Time. Title of this presentation: Asian Man Taunts African Americans, daring us to boycott Asian businesses, and no reparations for Black people. Create your own wealth or stay poor forever. Our first topic: Asian man taunting Black Americans, daring us to boycott Asian businesses. First, let me address the family of Cyrus Belton, the Black teenager who was gunned down by Rick Chow and was acquitted. The story behind Cyrus Belton is that he entered an Asian convenience store. The store owner accused the young brother of stealing bottle of water. He ran out the store. Him and I believe they say his son chased after him, according to the surveillance footage. When so anyhow, Chow, Rick Chow shot the young brother in the back, unfortunately. Um, so he went to trial. The jury found him not guilty, which is crazy because how you're going to chase down somebody for a bottle of water, you know? But hey, it is what it is. But that's the mentality that's coming into this country with these other groups. They view black people as criminals, yet they have a nerve to open up their business in the low income black community. You know what I'm saying? So I encourage, black Americans, don't don't do business with none of the I'm saying none of the Asian businesses there. Shucks. You know what I'm saying? Because this they're always giving us issues. And I have different videos about even on the African continent. Lord have mercy. I really in Kenya, a Chinese man, and I have the video to prove it. So it's not like I'm just sitting up here making up stuff. Yeah, he beat his employee, and he's an illegal Chinaman, Chinese man. He's illegal, has a business, and he's gonna beat a Kenyan for being late for work. So, but like I say, this is how uh, our people behave. We allow this kind of garbage, but you won't help. You won't come over this way to help work with me to turn this business into a reality, so that way we can have our own stuff. Good Lord, such a oh it's just that it's just so frustrating, and then our children have to sit up here and this garbage is passed down, the slave mentality. But hey, at least I'm trying. I'm doing the best that I can within my power. This is why I created this platform. And I mean, we are going to weed out these off code Negroes, off code Africans, you know, so that's one thing. And then I'm proud of what happened in Nigeria. The Chinese people there, they created some kind of supermarket, but it's only, and they're discriminating. It's only for Asians. They didn't want Nigerians there, but they bringing their funky behind over to the continent. Stay your behind in Asia then if you don't like black people. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about it. But yeah, they shut that supermarket down, because they was being discriminated against, and rightfully so. That's what you're supposed to do. And that's what the whole purpose of Gurkaya Africa gonna be about, giving Africans a real backbone. Don't sit up here and be treated as a second class citizen in your own country. All right, so just bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. It's a lot of material that we're gonna cover. So, and this is sad because I hate to see. I mean, it's sad about the young brother got killed. Well, basically he shouldn't ran. That's the main thing, but he just got scared. But the bottom line, just don't go into those people's stores. That's all I'm saying. Otherwise, more people are gonna keep getting killed. I guarantee he wouldn't do that if it was a white American. Not at all. I'm just saying. Um, Anytime we as Black Americans talk about depriving any group of our $2 trillion spending power, those groups get immediately threatened because Black people don't realize how dependent these other groups are on our spending. That's what I'm saying. I mean, technically, I should be withering on the vine. It's just by God's grace I'm still able to keep my head above water because I'm not making any money off of my revised book. I'm not. And this is all I have trying to build something. But, our black people want to sit up here and patronize everybody else. And then want to sit up here and, oh, it's just horrible. You just giving all your money, spending power to these other groups, but you won't support black people like myself. I'm trying to bring my business to the hood and work with black parents. And so black parents, this is a very important. If you have a son or a daughter, I want to, especially a son, I with my business, Rakai of Chicago, our goal is to keep your son. I'm just saying, son. It could be your daughter too, but I'm just emphasizing the son. Keep him out from the streets and out of gangs. That's all. Because again, that's where I came from. And so I know what it's like living in the inner cities. Um, I wasn't interested in being selling drugs or being a criminal. That's not what I wanted. Um, and that's why we want to be known for creating black empowerment films, positive films to reach the youth, put money in their pockets so that way they can pay their bills and feed their families. That's all I'm trying to do. But it was an FBA that got me kicked off of Substack. And I ain't did nothing to that twisted brother. You're going to sit up here and just start talking ill about me, in the comment section. All I said to the brother was send me your email address, make arrangements with me so you can come on my show and debate me on camera. And then a couple days later, my Substack account was, suspended. And I was on Substack for 6 months. So I didn't have no issue until this FBA got on there, started clowning me, started just talking stupid, talking about he's gonna call ICE on me and I'm a tether and all that garbage. And I had to check that fool. I'm like, we from the same lineage, man. I'm from the soil. And I don't know why you step into me with that foolishness. Because over here we ain't about those diaspora wars, not at all. So over here we will be checking. I will be checking people. That's what I'm saying up front. Especially when we have that physical building, we checking everybody that comes through our door up front. Put everything out on the table. Let people know what we're about. If they agree, cool. If they disagree, keep it moving. And again, I'm only responsible for GCAM members and their immediate family members, and that's it. Those that's not part of us, we'll pray for them, show them tough love, and keep it moving. And that's real. Um, so we spend more, so we spend money more than any other group, and I'm telling Black Americans to stop believing that Black Americans are broke because broke people don't have access to $2 trillion spending power. And I have receipts on that too. Some people say 1 trillion. I'm gonna just go by 2 trillion because I have a source that says that. Bottom line, that's as a collective. Um, So I came across a TikTok video entitled quote, Asian man dares black Americans to boycott Asian businesses, unquote. Now, I found another video similar to that, and that's what I'm going to play. But if you want to actually watch the full video, just go to my Medium transcript below this audio podcast in the comment section. Click on the link, then scroll down to show and prove. So I found another video, and that's the one I'm finna to go ahead and play from Facebook. All I can say is fair use Facebook, you know. But I want y'all to listen to what this brother has to say, and then we'll talk about it. So here we go. So
because he decided to do a rant about, so this Asian man is going viral because he decided to do a rant about black people not wanting Asian businesses in their neighborhoods. 14-year-old boy was just shot for no reason. And the man that did it, this Ricky Chow or whatever, there's other footage of him fighting black kids and harassing black kids, and he shot at black people before.
New information about 2 prior incidents where Chow reportedly shot at his customers. The latest one happening in 2018 when Chow shot at a customer that assaulted him. Before that, in 2015, Chow reportedly shot at another customer he suspected of stealing. Chow says that customer left the gas station threatening him. Chow then ran behind him and shot at that individual's car 6 times.
So this guy has had a habit of doing this to black people in South Carolina. So we want to boycott this specific store because he killed somebody's son for no reason over a bottle of water. And they're very disrespectful. What we want to do is boycott people who treat us like shit. We didn't paint a whole picture to say, all you Asian motherfuckers get out of our neighborhoods. We didn't say that, but you made a general picture about us black people, and that lets me know you ain't shit. You're a bozo because you go, oh, we'll take away the lick. This is what you said.
I love when the black community says, let's boycott Asian businesses. Please do. We'll get rid of the Chinese takeout.
Yeah, take the Chinese takeout out. That's whack anyway. You serve us bullshit, GMO, all that. We get fat and get diseased off of your dirty food anyway. Because the food that's in the hood is not good for the black people. There is good Chinese food, but the shit you serve is usually trash. All right?
The dry cleaners.
We'll be fine. Black man invented dry cleaning anyway. We'll be fine with the dry cleaning. We will find another place to get our dry cleaning at.
The laundromat.
We'll be fine with that.
Let's get rid of the liquor stores as well.
We don't need liquor. See, all the things, a lot of stuff you were naming is that has been killing us anyway. So we need to change up our anyway. Liquor. I don't even drink anyway. And a lot of people should stop drinking liquor anyway. So shame on you for that.
Get rid of the Jordans you guys wear, the Nikes you wear.
Michael Jordan, he's not Asian. He's a black dude. Okay. And I think that he can go somewhere else to get his shoes made. All right.
The shower caps.
Please get out of here with that.
The Hyundais, all your car electricians.
That's Japanese. There's no Japanese in the black neighborhoods anyway. And you said car electronics. Listen, there's certain things, of course, a lot of stuff made in Asia. That's fine. But guess what else? Asians do. Copy black culture. That's what you do. So you should stay the fuck out of black culture too, sir. And then you say,
a lot of us do go to college. You're being outworked by immigrants who barely speak English. And you're not embarrassed?
Black women have the highest degrees in America. Black people go to college too. And you had the nerve to say,
Go to the bank, start your own businesses, and deal with your own people.
You know how many black people try to get loans, try to get money for businesses, and banks are so racist they don't give it to black people? You jack. And by the way, the reason why you guys have the right to come into black neighborhoods to open stores is because white folks didn't want you in their neighborhoods, so they sent you to the black community. And you said,
we have our own Chinatown, we have our own Koreatown. You think we really need you guys to benefit off and make money?
Chinatown was a ghetto where they put Chinese people in a certain area. Of course, you guys worked hard and built it up. That's facts. But it was a ghetto because they didn't like you. They had anti-Chinese laws against you. They did. White folks shit on Chinese people, Asian people in general, Japanese in internment camps, they shit on Koreans. So all of this shit you talking, you better know your history, buddy. So the reason why your is even in here to open your mouth on that phone is because of the Civil Rights Bill in 1964. Did you know that? Off of Black American sweat is the reason why Asians can come in here and do what they do. Arabs can come in here and do what they do. Even Africans can come here and do what they do because of Black American hard work and sweat that they are disrespected for, sir. So your little rant was bullshit. It was a circus of word salad and because you don't know your goddamn history because you're a racist piece of shit. While we're talking about specifically boycotting one particular man because he has had a record of shit on black people. He doesn't give a fuck about black people and has the nerve to want black people's money. So yeah, we will boycott a lot of shit and we will affect your. So you challenge it. And by the way, I actually give you credit because you were factual on black people still coming to your stores because we have been dependent on you. You were actually factual. That's why you had the bravery to open your mouth like that because we have emboldened you to talk like that to us because we have so much self-hate in ourselves that we will actually be disrespected and still come in to buy your poisonous weaves that are killing black women and giving them brain tumors. We will come in and get your liquor and all your cigarettes and all that bullshit while you still disrespect us. And this is not saying that every Asian business is like that. It's not that. You painted us in a broad picture. But the funny thing is we don't even think like that. We take people one by one, each business by each business. You painted us as a whole, and you said racist about us because that's how you really feel about us, buddy. But I'm glad you challenged us because you went for a big mother surprise, bro. We're different. You f with the wrong black folks, for real. Now take that to the bank.
All right. Okay. We are the only group in America that successfully boycotted the system which helped change laws. For example, the Montgomery bus boycott that was led by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. That was very effective. And, that's, again, that's descendants of American slaves / freedmen. That was us that did that. My ancestors. And I'm proud, very proud of them. But I am going to mention that what they should have done, though, I mean, Dr. King, it was two camps. It was, and this is kind of what I wrote about in the book, but basically it was Dr. Martin Luther King's Jr. camp and Malcolm X camp. So Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., they were kind of, he was pushed towards, integration. And, that's, to me, that's what really was our downfall, because who really benefited from integration was white businesses. All that black dollars that we had in our in our community left, and then went towards patronizing white businesses. Um, so that was one thing, and then also Dr. King before his assassination, and I have this under show and prove, about he wanted us to march on Washington to get our check. That's the same thing as reparations. And so yeah, that's when those white supremacist financial elites like, oh no, we can't have that. So that's how come they took them out. But with Malcolm X under his camp, they just wanted they want separation. But the problem with that is that we still, even though have our own schools, our own towns, and all that stuff, we still under the white man system, here. And our black dollars, our taxes and stuff, it goes towards, we're paying for our own oppression. You know what I'm saying? We're paying for those road cops to harm us and all that bad stuff, and we're paying for foreign wars. But what we're trying to do with this Gracam stuff is for us to heal as, I'm gonna say, Black Americans that become Gracam members, as well as African immigrants. Black Americans will heal from that slave mentality. African immigrants will heal from that colonized mindset. Both of us will learn how to respect each other's culture. We'll learn how to get along with each other. We will learn how to do business together, and we will replicate the business on the African continent, so that way we can do international trade with our brothers and sisters on the continent. Now, if it was up to me, like I was saying in the book, I was saying at least having Kyle Chicago in 25 cities, but shucks, I have to throw that out the window because I wrote that book back in 2012, okay? So and I'm still on first base, and that's what's so frustrating about all of this. And that's why I'm trying to reach out to our young Black youth, that's, I would say, Black millennials and Generation Z. Because after all, this business is for you all. This business is going to benefit you all. This business, I want us to be able to pass it down to you all. But I need Gracam members to help me build it. You know what I'm saying? This is more than just some dude sitting up behind a computer just running off at the mouth. And I got detailed. That's how come I wrote the book. That's what I'm selling. I sell ideas, but I don't want to limit myself with just a book. I'm not interested in writing more books. I want to create effective and successful Black businesses. That's what I want to do. But we got to get this thing up and running first. Kyle Chicago. You know? So I know Black Americans and African immigrants, we got a lot of problems. But if we want to survive in the United States of America, we as Black people and African people have to put aside our differences. We are in competition against all these other groups because all these other groups, they are on code. They are on code to come against us. I'm just saying. So again, this is why I created this platform, in order to recruit brave and smart, like-minded Black Americans beyond Chicago, across the United States of America, also want to recruit brave and smart, like-minded African immigrants across the United States of America to join the grassroots community activist movements. Anytime DAS FM says that we're going to boycott, all of a sudden everybody gets on alert. They understand our spending power. It's our fault that we have allowed all these other groups to disrespect us. That's just how it is. And that's why a lot of Black Americans are against immigration. For example, people like Congresswoman, let me see how to pronounce this lady's name, Pramila Jayapal. She's a Democrat in Washington, the state of Washington. She's advocating for illegal immigrants to get reparations. That's totally disrespectful towards us as Black Americans, because we have that HR 40 study, which has been collecting dust for the past 30 years. Yet, all of a sudden, people who cross our borders willingly, because ain't nobody forced them to come over here. So they broke federal law, and they brought their children, and she thinks that they deserve reparations because they was placed in ICE detention centers. Well, if you break the law, that's what happens. But like I say, Black Americans should let these Democrats crash and burn for the next 2 years. However, I'm being realistic on this. We still have a lot of black people who remain on that Democrat plantation. And the Democrats will eventually win the White House, eventually, win the presidency, the House, and the Senate. And they will reopen those borders. So I'm just saying that's going to happen eventually. But we still have a little time left, ladies and gentlemen, to help get my revised book on that bestsellers list and to get this film project fully funded and made so that together, I would say, descendants of American slaves / freedmen and African immigrants can build Grekai, Chicago. And that's something that we can be proud of and something that we can pass down to, I would say, Grekai members and their children. So again, Black parents, this is my gift to you and your immediate family, but you have to be a Grekai member. That's all I'm saying. If you're not a Grekai member, I'm not going to fool with you. And that's real. And even on the African continent, those that's not interested in being part of us, we pray for them. We show them tough love. We keep it moving. Doggone it. Descendants of American slaves / freedmen created towns and made all types of inventions here in the United States. Our towns consisted of Black Wall Street, Rosewood, and Seneca. I'm gonna have to spell it out. I can't pronounce it. Seneca. Seneca Village. The only reason we don't have those towns today is because the white supremacist financial elites always targeting and sabotaging us through, I would say, urban gentrification or through eminent domain. It wasn't that we were lazy and didn't want to work. These people stayed on our bumper and keep us oppressed because they know what we are capable of. We are nation builders. That's who we are. these immigrants that come over here talking down about Black Americans, yet they fled their homeland. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna. So the same thing with. I'm just saying, like with FBAs, there's no Black Americans. I do agree. I'm not gonna have no African immigrants or Afro Caribbeans in my organization sitting up here talking down about Black Americans because that's disrespectful. Because I'm Black American, so I ain't gonna put up with that at all. I'm just being real. So here's the breakdown of this Asian man video. Um, they leave their country that's plagued with economic stagnation, rigid caste systems, and oppressive regimes. They flock to the U.S. to capitalize off the infrastructure and the economic and the economy built off of the blood, sweat, and tears of descendants of American slaves slash freedmen, and then got a nerve to sit up here and talk about we lazy. You stay your behind in your own homeland, then and build that up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm just saying I don't want the one like that. If they're coming over here talking down about us, and I'm gonna check them too. We ain't having that. That's not cool at all. You can't come around us talking bad about Black Americans and think you're not going to get pushback. You will. They don't own intellectual property for Ford or General Electrics. These Western corporations outsource their manufacturing companies to Asian countries, Mexico and South America, because the labor is exploitable and very cheap. Being the cheap labor force of a multinational corporation is not a flex. We have inventors like Frederick McKenna Jones, Granville T. Woods, who invented appliances. He talked about sneakers. The question is, who gave those gym shoes value? A piece of leather and rubber stitches together in a sweatshop has zero value. It don't have any value until descendants of American slaves slash freedmen gives it value. The name Michael Jordan and our athletes give it value. Our entertainers give it value. Our urban youth give it value. These people are feeling themselves. Our culture value makes Nike a multi-billion-dollar empire. It's Black culture, particularly descendants of American slaves slash freemen culture. We have always given value to these shoes like Adidas or Nike. Run DMC made Adidas popular in the 1980s. We've always been the ones given the gym shoes value. You ain't doing us any favor getting some rubber and some cheap cloth and sewing them together that don't have value. The beauty supply industry is monopolized by them, but they don't tell you how they got it that way. Modern hair care industry was pioneered by Black American women like Madam C.J. Walker and Anna McLone. These Asian merchants didn't invent these products or the culture surrounding them. What they did was capture the distribution network through marketing. Then they practiced exclusionary manufacturing monopolies in South Korea, and they receive parental business loans. When they migrate over here, they receive a new line of credit. They They can get business loans that we can't due to redlining and discrimination. They have an advantage on those hair care products. This is part of what we're going to build in Grekai, Chicago, which will be a multi-purpose facility in order to reclaim Black-owned beauty supply through our cosmetology and barbering program. That's why I need brave and smart people to help me run this thing. I can't do everything. You know what I'm saying? And this is going to create jobs for Black people. This is why it's important for Africa to work with us so that we can network and use African independent manufacturers on the continent so that we can do international trade and get rid of that middleman. In the near future, we will be creating our own deodorant, toothpaste, perfume, etc. Grekai of Chicago will be reclaiming a lot of our products and putting our cultural stamp on them. These other groups come around us and become culture vultures after we get things popping. We don't need these other groups. Yes, it's more convenient because it's cheaper. This Asian man said they don't need Black people. Then where does the capital come from to maintain their Chinatowns and career towns? They set up shop in the Black communities and Black neighborhoods. They extract millions of dollars from our communities and neighborhoods to fund their infrastructure, their banks, and their grocery stores, and create their own enclaves. You get the money from us. If you didn't need us, you wouldn't be setting up shop in the Black communities and Black neighborhoods. So let's boycott them and teach them a lesson. Let's boycott their business. Stop going into their businesses, spending money with them. Please leave a public comment about the topic in the comment section below this audio podcast and share with your friends on all social media sites that you're on. This will help get the ball rolling. Our second topic: no reparation for Black people. Create your own wealth or stay poor forever. In this episode, we explore one of the most controversial conversations in modern society: reparation for Black people. What happens if reparations never come? Should Black communities continue waiting for government solutions, or should like-minded Black people and like-minded African people join the grassroots community activist movement in order to obtain economic freedom through entrepreneurship, ownership, investment, and wealth creation? This audio podcast breaks down the realities of generational wealth, economic empowerment, financial literacy, business ownership, and the importance of building independent financial systems. Whether you agree or disagree, this discussion challenges listeners to think critically about the future of Black wealth and economic self-determination. Topics covered will be Black wealth creation, generational wealth strategies, financial independence, entrepreneurship and business ownership, Black economic empowerment, investing for long-term growth, wealth mindset, reparation debates, building assets and ownership, the future of Black economics. If you're serious about creating wealth, escaping poverty, and building a legacy for future generation, then this conversation is for you. I came across a YouTube video from, it was pronounced, I believe, Bantu City Diaries, entitled, quote, "No reparation for Black people. Create your own wealth or stay poor forever," unquote. So I'll do my best. I hope it plays. If not, again, that's the title of it. You can find that in the on my Medium transcript um, located in the comment section below this audio podcast. Click on the link, then scroll down to show and prove and look for that title. So what I'm going to do, I'll do my best. I don't know if it's going to play it, but I hope it will. All right, just a moment here.
Time to end the endless excuses. Responsibility, accountability, discipline, and, as we all know, the absence of maintenance culture are qualities that best describe Black people, whether in Africa, the UK, Canada, Brazil, or the USA. But no other Black people are more complacent than Africans. To quell the endless excuses and blame, I've looked into comparable countries that were or worse off than many African countries in the 60s. In 1960, Indonesia's GDP was extremely low, with 88 million people. Its GDP per capita was just $40, and its gross was under 3 billion. Nigeria's GDP in 1960 was 4.2 billion, with a per capita income of 174 US dollars, almost 5 times Indonesia's. Nigeria's population was 45 million, nearly half that of Indonesia. Today, Indonesia has a GDP of 1.4 trillion US dollars and a per capita of $5,000. Indonesia's population is now 284 million, up from almost twice Nigeria's to just higher by 17% only. The Dutch also colonized Indonesia for over 300 years. No more excuses, Black people. Indonesia is not Switzerland or Norway, but it is by far more advanced than every Black African country. Ghana's GDP per capita in 1960 was more than 4 times that of Indonesia. The DR Congo more than 6 times. Tanzania was almost 7 times, whilst Cote d'Ivoire, Gabon, Cameroon, and many other African countries had higher GDP than Indonesia in 1960. Vietnam in 1960 had a GDP that was not even up to $1 billion. Almost every country in Africa in 1960 was richer than Vietnam. Vietnamese are not white, and they went through wars. However, today, no African country has a bigger economy than Vietnam. In 1960, South Korea's GDP was just 3.9 billion US dollars, less than Nigeria's. Today, South Korea has a GDP of 1.8 trillion, which is more than that of West Central and East Africa, which has over 1 billion people. South Koreans are not white. They went through Japanese colonization and they had a war that set them back decades. Black people in Africa have no excuse. Remember, this video is to quell all the usual blame game of Africans and Black people. In 1995, Nigeria's GDP was 31 billion, while Kazakhstan was 20 billion. Today, Kazakhstan is 301 billion compared to Nigeria's 285 billion, despite Kazakhstan having 11 times fewer people than Nigeria. The endless blame game and excuses from Africans are doing us no good, but make those whom we are blaming for our incompetence hate us more. Just imagine an innocent British, French, German, or American who struggles to pay their mortgage and bills is being told that they are responsible for why people in some country in Africa, which they have no intention of ever visiting, are poor. It is terribly annoying. When the British left Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, Tanzania, Uganda, Sierra Leone, Zambia, and the others, they went for good. These countries drafted their own constitutions and managed their own economies. They owe us, the British, the whites, they owe us no apology or compensation. Only greedy people in 2026 would be asking for monetary compensation for something that happened to people they never saw or knew. Why should a person in 2026 compensate me for an incident that happened to my great-grandfather or great-great-grandfather great grandfather. I am not responsible for all the evil my great great grandfather did to the next ethnic group. Why should today's British, Germans, French, Dutch, Portuguese, and Belgians apologize or compensate for something their great great grandfathers did? Only lazy and greedy people waste their time trying to benefit from their great great grandfather's misfortune to feed their fleeting desire. Even if the European countries agree to compensate the Africans, but decide to do so in a practical manner, like, for example, instead of giving them money to these Africans who would use it to produce more babies, parties, and dance all over the place, offer to train their citizens in road building technology, engineering, and other fields for the next 10 years so they can go back and fix their countries. The Africans would refuse because they want the money to invest in baby production and parties, not for the betterment of everyone. They are not seeking compensation so they can use the funds to improve their lives. Every facet of the Nigerian apparatus was designed and run by Nigerians. The same is true for the various African countries. No France or anyone control Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, Gabon, or the other former French colonies. They run themselves. Their failure rests on them, not France. Imagine educated, grown-up black people in 2026 ranting about how Africa is poor because of historical policies put in place by the white and systemic racism, blah, blah, blah. My stomach boils every time I have to listen to or read such nonsense. The Americans decimated Vietnam. In fact, Vietnam was so bombed that up to today, secondary explosions are still happening. The intensity was so barbaric that even neighboring Laos suffered devastation. You don't see Vietnamese blaming all their failure on the Americans. Instead, they went back to the drawing board and are working hard to improve their economy, which is now larger than that of any country in Africa. The Dutch ruled Indonesia for twice as long as the British ruled Nigeria. Yet you don't see Indonesians going on about how the Dutch caused all their failures. Spain colonized the Philippines for over 300 years. The Americans took over for half a century, and the Japanese occupation. Today, the economy of the Philippines is larger than any African economy, and you don't see them go on about how they were colonized and all of our shortcomings are the fault of the Spanish, American, or Japanese. Only black people have excuses for their abysmal incompetence. I'm beginning to think that the world has coddled black Africans for so long out of pity that we have become addicted to being victim. No one who assumes such a state of mind can move past the misfortune of the bygones. Colonization ended over half a century ago. Within that half century, many economies have joined the developed economy club, like South Korea, Taiwan, and Singapore. There is a developed country or economy in every continent except Africa. Africans, black people, go back to the drawing board and make the remainder of this century the African time to emancipate from the centuries of humiliation to the one where your children's children would be the stars of the world. Teach them that Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo, Kikuyu, Shona, Wolof, Twi, Ashanti, or Zulu are social constructs. Teach them engineering, mathematics, science, IT, and push them to challenge the boundaries and rebuild Africa. Make them understand that what they do today determines how their children live tomorrow. And by 2060, Africans would no longer be those drowning in the Mediterranean or being disrespected by the world. Nothing would kill racism and disrespect like financial and technological independence. If you think we're wrong, if you think we missed anything, please leave them in the comment section below. And also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
Well, I disagree with that guy. Yeah, that's one of those sellout type of people. As Das FM, descendants of American slaves / freedmen, we are not going to hear that because Native Americans receive reparations and none of them living today experience the trail of tears what their ancestors went through. I need young black Americans between the ages of 18 to 35 to join the grassroots community activist movement. After all, this business is for you and your generation. I need young African immigrants across the United States between the ages of 18 to 35 to join the grassroots community activist movement. The Europeans who colonized us and who enslaved my ancestors are still running Africa today, regardless what that dude said. You know, he's one of those, I'm gonna say, let's say he's a sellout or Afro coon. That's what he is. If they don't want us, if they don't want to pay us our reparations, then we as black people and African people should not do business with them point blank. Furthermore, Africans need to deport those who are living on the continent since they don't want to pay for colonization, reparations for colonization, then yes, they should be deported back to their homeland because we did not invite none of them to the continent. They imposed themselves on us. Also, genocide has no statute of limitations. They slaughtered a lot of our people, especially Namibia. The Germans killed over half of that population. Low down selves. And they still running, the land over there, just like in South Africa. The white supremacist financial elites is occupying 80% of the land in South Africa. And they're still, they created economic apartheid. So I don't know what the heck that dude is talking about. So as a collective, we're still lacking behind other groups because of tribalism and sellout culture. Just like that dude, he's a sellout through stealing and being corrupt. When we talk about the inheritance that's being passed down from one generation to the next, Europeans stole wealth from African people to build up their empire or build up their economy. That wealth is still belongs to the people they stole it from, no matter how long ago it occurred. So when we talk about reparations, not only did that cause a harm from stolen labor, but also genocide as well as stolen inheritance. Again, for example, in South Africa, the Boers are still occupy 80% of the land and still it's control, and still they control the economic power. What the guy from the YouTube video left out was that the United States gave them billions of dollars and technology to South Korea, Taiwan, and Vietnam. They didn't do it on their own. You know what I'm saying? But they always want to tell Black American or Black people and African people to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. So it's always a contradiction, A lot of multi-international corporations send their manufacturing to Taiwan and Asia in the 90s. Colonialism ended 50 years ago. Then why are Europeans still there? I'm just saying. Ever since the Europeans stepped foot on the African soil, Africa has been catching hell. Black Africans are starting to wake up. Watch these foreign international corporations. We as Black people and African people need to tighten access to our diamond mines, gold mines, and minerals, because it's not only France, it's the entire European Union. They all need African resources, but they are very disrespectful and don't want to pay for the crimes their ancestors committed. Then we should not do business with them until all of them repay reparations, starting with my group, descendants of American slaves slash freedmen. We're putting our faith into these Democrat politicians because we don't want to organize on a local level and state level. Black Americans prefer to vote and let the politicians do the work. They are not going to give us reparations. We have to fight for it beyond politics. I'm saying we're looking for something that we shouldn't be looking from these people. As a collective, Black Americans have $2 trillion spending power. If only we could connect with other like-minded Black Americans, then we can make major moves in America and also on the African continent. We got to do more than just talk about solving Black issues. We have to build a Kai of Chicago, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I'm saying. We got, or we talk about what we used to do in the past. Let's talk about what we are doing today as Black people. We lost everything when the Europeans took our ancestors from Africa. Our inheritance was stolen. That's why we're hell bent on reparations for a whole mass of wealth that was stripped away from us. As far as reparation goes, I believe Black Americans deserve it 100%. We are going to get it? Nope. But we can build a Kai of Chicago because we're not ready to fight for it. That's why I'm saying we're not going to get it. But we're not going to get it unless we take it. Black Americans are not prepared to do that. When we're organized and we vote as a block, we can have those set asides or entitlements trickle down to the grassroots level. We can put pressure on the local and state governments to give us our reparations. The white supremacist financial elites hate to see us get anything. This is why they've done in the past to us. So what we have to do is be ready to fight. We don't need to tell all of our ideas online because the enemy is listening and watching. White supremacist financial elites are stepping up their neo-colonization. Their goal is to recolonize Africa for her resources in order to maintain their economy. We have to build Cacao Chicago first for credibility. Then we can focus on building Cacao of Africa when we come to the continent. Cacao of Africa will take the lead in fighting against the EU, European Union, by organizing Sub-Saharan Africa, because if we don't stand together now, then we could lose our continent forever. The Cacao of Africa will promote morals and ethnic codes. Those who disagree will be excluded and exiled out of Africa to go live with the Europeans or Western nations. Please leave a public comment about the topic in the comment section below this audio podcast and share with your friends on all social media sites you are on. This will help get the ball rolling. It's time for us to have these conversations. We're talking about saving Black America and also saving Africa. We have the power at the grassroots level. We appreciate you taking up time to engage with us about solving real Black issues and real African issues. The grassroots community activist movement is a safe space for Black voices and African voices. Give our people locally, nationally, and internationally a voice, reporting on stories others ignore, holding power accountable, and making sure the truth about our community is told by us. If you believe in journalism, community accountability, and keeping Black voices strong, then we need your support, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening to our audio podcast and for joining us on the stream. We greatly appreciate it. I need all of you to support our film project so that way we can move Cam to the next level. That is the big screen, to let the Black world know who we are and what we're trying to do for descendants of American slaves / freedmen who reside in the low-income Black community. Quote, Hood Liberator made in Chicago, the war against Willie Lynch begins. Unquote. You can be a part of this historic docudrama by contributing to our crowdfunding pages, which are our GoFundMe page, our Buy Me a Coffee page, or our PayPal Giving Fund page, which will help fund marketing, promotion, clearance, legal, and general expenses. Thank you for listening to our YouTube live or the replay. If you reside on the African continent, then I recommend that you follow me on my Pod Chaser, because it won't eat away your bundles because it's only audio. I provide the link in the comment section below this audio podcast. If you are new to Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast, welcome to our safe space where we discuss Black issues and African issues. We do this every week. This will conclude our audio podcast for today. Like, share, and subscribe. See you on the next episode. Peace and blessings. And before we go, I have, I believe, one more. Yes, I have one more thing to show you all. Okay, that's my medium right here. So see the cursor? I'm encouraging all my listeners to please just write that down. This is how you have access to my, I would say, my speeches, all my information as it pertains to, my sources. It's very important, ladies and gentlemen. So it's Manuel Online. That's M. So I would say first, go to google.com, and then type this in. Manuel, MANWELL, online, all one word, .medium. So MEDIUM.com. Okay. And so this is going to pop up. See where it says pin. So this is, my current speech. You would click on there where it says transcript. All right. Then this is all the stuff I read. So you just scroll down. I'm showing you all this for a reason. So that way you'll know how to navigate, using this. Yes, it's a lot of information, but again, when I do my presentation, I'm not half stepping, I'm trying to make it happen. I take this stuff very serious. Our children are being slaughtered. Here go, check this one out right here under show and prove. This just happened yesterday. This was on the news. Drive-by shooter kills man, injure 15-year-old boy, and 2 others on South Austin. That's like around my old neighborhood. So that just happened yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. All of this unnecessary violence, that's just senseless violence right there. So I recommend, like I say, those of you that can, just go through all of these, everything I have on here as it pertains to the videos. Okay. And right here, this is why Zambia is officially a Chinese colony. Yeah, they just took over that poor place because they wasn't able to pay back those loans. So the Chinese, just took over their country. It's unfortunate. Hey, I'm trying to get my business over there, but we got to get it popping here first so I can come there. Because what I understand, I spoke to a lot of ex the expatriates from the United States, and they tell me a majority of businesses are owned by non-Africans, so foreigners basically own a majority of the businesses on the African continent, and that's a doggone shame, Africa. Lord have mercy. So you have Asians, East Indians, Europeans, Americans. They all, you have to. So that's why I'm saying I don't want to just hop on a plane and come to Africa and, well, I want to bring a business there. I want to come with economic tangibles in the form of job creation. That's what I want to do. Okay, so here's another. Check this one out. Chinese boss caught whipping. In other words, beating a Kenyan worker because he was late, and his behind is he's an illegal Chinese man with a business. So, boy, I tell you, but you allowed these people to do this to you. So, and I'm grateful about what the Nigerians, they anyway. Nigeria shut down Chinese supermarket over alleged racism because they were saying it was only for Chinese people, nobody else. Oh, forget that. Well, if you're going to be racist, then stay your behind in your own country. Now they can get away with that with Jamaica because that's a little small island. But everywhere we are, these people want to come there and they want to try to take over. But all this mess happens because we're off code. We don't want to work with me. Step to me. You know what I'm saying? But again, we want to exclude con artists. I'm not having that. There's consequences. That's all I'm saying. You know? And look at this. Now, this is this I'm gonna say is an African man. Um, he he was invited to um some type of apartment. He was to rent an apartment in China. When they saw him, they rejected him immediately. But they got their behind all over in Africa. But then when Africans trying to come over there to them in their country, they want to act all racist. Well, I'm just saying, if they do that with you, treat them the same way, give them that same energy. That's all I'm saying. So this is all from, I give credit to the African Diaspora News Channel from down here. So there's a lot of, good videos that I came across and I liked. All right. Okay. This that lady, Representative Pamela Jill Paul that wants reparations for illegal immigrants. So that's a turn off for me right there. I'm never voting for Democrats at this point unless they're gonna really give us reparations. Other than that, which I doubt, but I don't want to vote for those people because of this lady right there. Right. So I want y'all to check this out right here. Engaging Black audience. Then right here, the median wealth for Black Americans will fall to zero by 2053. That's a shame. But on here, just click on that and you'll see that it says $2 trillion. So that's where I get my source from there. All right. Okay. So thank you all for listening. Peace and blessings.